right? And after the elections happened, we went down to DC and we gave it to them, but nobody gave it to President Donald J. Trump. Because, I mean, are you kidding? How are we going to raise money? Shut up. So they knew that Trump will claim victory based on his early leads and call for no votes to be counted after Election Day, and or either claim widespread fraud, focus on urban Democratic strongholds if he's close enough in their states, especially Milwaukee, Detroit, and Philadelphia, like they knew. They're like time travelers too. And encourage his supporters to watch election administrators counting the ballots. Wait a minute. How did he know that? How did they know this? Let me guess. So they fucking paid all the post office employees and the teachers and the electors and the slate of electors. But, you know, I told them that. Then we go to the next one. Strategic considerations. Trump's vote relative to Biden's will never be better than it will be at 10:59 when polls close on the West Coast. How did they know that? Results after will favor Biden as the majority of the ballots remaining will be counted, will be mail and provisional. This will fuel Trump's claims of fraud, which will enrage his followers. You mean you're the one that runs the USPS union, AFL-CIO, and you paid all these people to stuff the ballot, so you already know. Okay, got it. And the reason he already knows is because he needed to manufacture the evidence for what they need for digital. This is why it was, excuse me, that was my phone. I should have turned that on silent. So they already knew, right? Results after that will favor Biden, right? And then recent court rulings that allow ballots received after November 3rd, if they are postmarked ahead of the election, will be another target of fraud claims. Yeah, totally sounds like fraud. But, you know, they're telling you in advance. Listen to this. Unless the election is extraordinarily close in the tipping point state, we should know the voters' choice by Saturday, even though not all the ballots will have been counted. Arizona, Florida, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Michigan are most likely to be hot spots. Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin will have Democratic governors, aggressively anti-democratic legislators, and little or no experience with this much mail voting. Florida will likely be counted first. Wait, so you mean they knew all this stuff? You mean we told them all this stuff when we went down there and, you know, nobody paid attention? Is that it? Interesting. Let's go next. Phase 3, Saturday-ish through December 8th. Now, I want to tell you that when I was in DC, November 11th, you know, Millie, Gavin, and I showed them all this. And throughout the course, to the end of November and the beginning of December, I would say you are now here. You are doing everything they want you to do. The Constitution provides that governors have until December 8th, Safe Harbor Day, to appoint the electors based on their certified results of the elections. The Electoral Count Act provides that the state's choice of electors will be conclusive if two things are true. The electors are decided by a process set in state law by November 3rd, certification by the governor, except in Arizona, where the Secretary of State does it, and that the state process delivers a result by December 8th. Safe Harbor Day. That is what the strategic considerations of Safe Harbor Day are. So then I remember pointing to the next slide to people like, you know, my friend Patrick Byrne and others, and General Flynn, Joe Flynn, and other people that are appointees of President Trump. And I said, you are right here, right now, with the state legislature. Article 2 of the Constitution provides that each state's electors shall be appointed in such a manner as the legislator therefore may direct. Since the 19th century, that manner has been direct elections. If the results are not certified by December 8th, then the state legislator decides on the slate of electors. Although it has never been attempted in American history, Trump supporters have argued that Republican state legislatures could appoint Trump electors by declaring that the certified results were poisoned by widespread fraud and use the 3 US2 to appoint different state of electors. Biden wins in Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Michigan, North Carolina, and Arizona could be threatened either way. Wait a minute. This is the summer of 2020. How do you know he wins? Republican governors could fail to certify by December 8th to create a pretext for state legislative intervention. Some states have earlier state certification deadlines that Trump could attempt to exploit. Governors cannot veto actions by state legislators, but they are subject to judicial review by both state and federal courts. The current Supreme Court is likely to take a broad view of state legislative power in this context. So when I sat there and I said, you are here, stop fucking with the state slate of electors. They're all paid for. If they have this on paper, and I'll make it so. Patrick Byrne actually apologized to me after the AFL-CIO came out, and he's like, I should have paid attention to it. See, the thing is, nobody paid attention to two things. One, the planning right here. Two, the fact that the machines weren't certified. That was ironclad legal procedure that wouldn't have had a lot of woos and wahs on TV, but it would have been fucking solid, and you didn't have to prove that they stole it. You should have just proven what I said in my declaration, which is you can't prove they aren't, and you can't prove they are. Therefore, we shouldn't be using them. And this is a problem. So again, the AFL-CIO had all of this planned out. And then they go to phase 4, December 9th through January 6th. Again, strategic considerations. Think about it for a second, though. Why would a union have a slide like this going out to its high-level leadership when their job is just to collect union dues, right? Union dues and, make sure that people are getting their pensions. Like, why the fuck are they involved in our elections? Oh, that's right. Because they are the union for the Postal Service, teachers unions, federal workers, all that stuff. So let's move on. Here are the strategic considerations. The Electoral College formally meets December 14th. If a state legislature takes action, there could be 2 Electoral College meetings that day in a state. The new Congress convenes a joint session on January 6, 2021. In that session, the electoral votes are accepted and counted. Here are the potentially precarious scenarios. If the count is tied at 269 to 269, the House decides, but with each state casting just one vote. Today, that would mean 26 to 24, Trump win. If neither candidate has 270 electoral votes, because a state doesn't send a slate, 2 are sent and neither is accepted, or another cause, it is ambiguous whether the candidate with the majority wins or if it's sent to the House, in which case it would be decided as above. Interessante. Phase 5. January 7th through Inauguration Day. But let's take a little hiatus right there, right? If you remember, in September and October, Millie had created the video with the sunrise exposed in the summer. We had put out the federal Zoom calls where there were federal employees. Some were CISA, some were Department of Labor. Oh, and the OSHA mandate for masks, it was written by one of these bitches that was on that freaking Zoom call calling for a federal coup. They clearly called it a federal coup. They clearly said that they will fight back so Trump is not in office, that they were going to do everything, and we have them all on video. But, I digress. Conspiracy theory, right? Even though they're on video and they've been validated and checked. So let's go to phase 5. Contingencies. No shit. If Congress approves of Biden's elections, most believe that both the Supreme Court and the military would resist any efforts to overrule that judgment. If Congress deadlocks, the Constitution would make the House Speaker president at 1 a.m. January 20th, 2021, when Trump's term expires per the Constitution. Could you imagine President Pelosi? Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out. Like, this woman, her eyebrows have migrated into her hairline. She looks worse than Justin Bieber. Okay, right now, all fucked up. And people will be like, that's so mean. Well, he did take the vax, and people are not going to admit it, but I've always said free Bieber. Haley was his handler, but whatever. When he went to find Jesus, they made sure they wrapped him up. Furthermore, Trump's message goals set the stage for rejecting the results. Mail ballots are Democrats' fraud. Millions of illegal voters. Depressed turnout. Your vote might not count. Your vote might not matter. Divert attention away from his record. His record is stellar. We felt safe. We had money in our pocket. We had a job, right? All of that. And yet, his record, can we talk about their record? Anyway, how to respond to Trump. Okay, why are you telling your leadership at your union how to respond to Trump? So the union is telling their leadership how they should respond to the president of the United States. Everything he says because he knows he's losing. Don't engage in his arguments. Debunking his claims means that they're debatable. Attacking him for undermining the election can depress turnout because it conveys that he can reject the election results. Oh, okay, I see. Oh, by the way, the irony again, because I Google shit, right? The AFL-CIO president is named Trumpka, right? Well, he died. Oh, and guess when he died? Do you guys remember when I did that whole show about the first union, right? With Hoffa? Jimmy Hoffa? Do you guys remember that? Yeah. So when I did that whole show, he was found dead that Monday. So weird. So AFL-CIO President Trumpka on Labor's role defending democracy was, by the way, it is said that Trumpka had a big, Soviet type looking commie flag in his office. So weird. The lesson of our history is clear. Democracies are not, in the last analyses, protected by judges or lawyers, reporters or publishers. The survival of democracy depends on the determination of working people to defend it. You mean you're slaves? Because right now, everyone who's paying into a union has $0 fucking dollars. I've already written tons of articles about Amalgamated Bank, which is the main bank that houses all your funds. If you actually ask for that documentation, it'll be zero. There's people that are asking their police unions, their other unions, like, where is it, right? Where's the money? And they can't come up because they spent it. There is no money. An Amalgamated Bank is just a Democrat bank that gives loans with just their signature for campaigns. Ooh, yeah. And the last slide, most interesting of all. What we need to do: win, defend, mobilize. Kind of sounds something, dystopic from 1984 or something. It's so weird, isn't it? So that all happened in 2020. So while your states were illegally creating mail-in ballot things, right? How 2,000 Mules has not been debunked because it's actually government, webcams, right? Government footage, right? Right? They manufactured the evidence to match the algorithm. They knew that even they would not have. President Trump won clearly. Clearly. They knew. And they had to. That's how they win, right? And so what you had was a sick, twisted thing. I remember, and I'm pretty sure I said it on air in November of 2020. I was so sick and tired of seeing all these losers. And I call them losers because they betrayed their country for dollar, paper dollar. Everyone was bidding contracts on how to help solve, election fraud. You had people chasing trucks and yes, they manufactured the evidence. It's common freaking sense. That's why they created the mail-in ballots. But that's not the point. That's not the point. Okay. They could have scanned empty freaking ballots with no circles. They could have just shoved in regular A4 paper with nothing. It still would have given the result they wanted because it's pre-programmed, but they needed to move that away. So we had former CIA people coming in to say, oh, we're here to help and we're going to bid this. And they were bidding 3 million, 1 million, 5 million, this, that, the other, trying to piece it together. And there it is, little old me sitting there. Well, can we just look at the certifications? If the machines aren't certified, then the elections aren't certified. So it doesn't matter who the fuck certifies them. The machines aren't certified. End of story. And the machines haven't been certified since 2017. They weren't certified in 2016, but they did give them a certification because the certification really doesn't mean anything. Because if you read the certification, it says we certify, but we're not really certifying it. It's so weird. It's almost like circular certification. I'm certifying you, but I'm not taking any responsibility for the certification. And so, it needs to be certified. But, there's a process. It's part of a congressionally passed act. And since that wasn't, adhered to, we should take it away. And I said to them, here's the way you win. You decertify all elections up until 2016. 2016 was valid because they had valid certification on file. Everything else is bullshit. Pelosi's not the House Speaker. None of these motherfuckers are there. And we rewind back to 2016, whoever got elected. End of story. That's the way you fix it. Boom. And you know what they looked at me? That's chaos. My response? Wait till you see what they have in store if we don't. And this is exactly what happened. Exactly what happened. They're silencing you. They passed red flag laws. So now, apparently, if you look on 8kun, 4chan, follow Q, say that the elections aren't fraudulent, don't believe like it's like a religion on getting vaccinated. No, it's my body, my choice, right? If you don't use pronouns, or anything like that, you're now considered a person that shouldn't have a weapon. They did that while they gave you the abortion. When? And the people that did it are the people that you elected that lied to you, that said, oh, we're all for Trump. And they voted to impeach him. They're not really Republicans. None of them are really Republicans. Some of them have grown a spine saying, it's not fair. Some of them have kids. Oh, and they grew a heart over the years. But what the hell? How are you in office for 10 years? That's like 5 election sessions that you're still there. The reason the military rotates people every 4 years is to stop the corruption. And here we are. And it's 2022, and in about 2 months, they're going to purge all that data. And you know what? Everyone's like, Dominion. Can we talk ESNS, Smartmatic, Heart and Civic? Because we saw the same shit happen in 2019 and in 2016. And I actually had to commit a crime in order to make sure that the 2016 elections were at least a little bit fair. A little bit. And they got caught because of it. And if you think that it's some loser from Canada, who, by the way, his family is like deeply embedded into the WEF and stuff, like you should totally look into that. But anyway, I digress. If you think that it's Poulos, that loser, or your ESNS clowns, or your Heart Inner Civic people, even though Tag Romney, which is Mitt Romney's son, owns shares in that company, just saying, are the ones, that are doing it, you're wrong. They're just facilitating it. The people that are doing it, you haven't voted for. The people that are doing it are part of the 4th unelected branch of government. And I have said this so many times. When I say deep state, when I say shadow government, I mean it. I mean, how many times do I have to tell you, hey, I worked as a private contractor and had access to everybody's shit? NSA, CIA, FBI, you name it. I could jump on to an LEO site and pull whatever the fuck I want, wherever I was on the planet, because it's all been centralized. When I said, let's release the Kraken, it was, let's get this computer to fucking spill all that out. But no, we can't. But no. And then in a way to encourage people, when the quantum systems come online, people like to hijack it and play mind games and psyops. It's such bullshit. I mean, how are you guys not tired of it? You're listening to people shoving hopium down your throat. And the bottom line is the only way you win is when you wake up and you realize that you're the one really in fucking charge. That's the one thing that terrifies them, is that the people will realize that they have zero power if you don't give it to them. I had a senator call me over the weekend. Not one that I talked to and asked questions, but another one. And, you know, he called me when I was having a really bad, you know, obviously I had a flare up, not feeling too good, but, and I'm kind of sad because my baby's gone, you know, for training. So, you know, anyway, he called me. Someone called me to tell me that he's getting on the line. And I was like, I'm sorry, who the fuck are you? That's exactly what I said. Oh, I'm so-and-so. If he wants to talk to me, he can call me. I don't do that. Oh, but I'm just going to put you on a secure. No secure line. Fuck you. He's not important. I'm important. He can call me regular. See, he didn't like that. He really didn't like that. His message to me was like, why are you like that? And I was like, because you're a loser. Period. And that's it. You don't deserve my time. I'm a nobody. He was just responding to something that I sent. But he needs to know that he is not that important where he gets to use my tax dollars to pay a fucking assistant to call me when he's the one in trouble. They're all in trouble. Every single one of them are in trouble. So if you're listening, Senator, that's why I didn't take your call. See, this is the way it is. They have zero power. They're not even in charge. Like McCain told me when I was fresh, wet behind the ears, thinking that I'm going to serve my country in such a nice way, right? I was like, wait, so are we like fixing elections? He's like, silly. We can't have people picking their leaders. That would be chaos. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? This is 1999. This whole charade you saw with Bush and Gore was them at it, but they needed the hanging chads to get rid of the damn stupid manual machines. And get this. In what universe does it make sense that the Federal Department of Justice sued counties and states for not implementing the electronic voting machines? I'll wait. How does it make sense that the Federal Department of Justice, right, sued states and counties for not taking on the electronic voting? I mean, I even have an advertisement. Oh my God, this is so much fun. Oh, we're just a Canadian company and we did it for the blind and stuff. And we're like fairly new. Fuck you, you're not new. I have a thing that you sent to New York competing with the SNS in 2006 saying, we're a New York centric company. You're fucking not. You are cog in this incredibly well-oiled machine that has been operating for eons and just upgrading as technology is allowed to be given to. The technology we have is just incredible. You have no idea. When I showed you guys that little box with the hologram, you have no idea. No idea. And it's not my place. Oh, just tell us. So if I tell you, will that change anything? No. That's the thing. People need to understand that this has been all well planned out. And the only way this can change is the minute you say no. And this isn't about left or right. Trump just represents us, the people, as people, human beings, right? Human beings, just average people that are not part of the club that are trying to make our communities better. And all they do is drip, drip, drip some technology, drip, drip, drip some of this. I mean, aren't you tired of it? You should be tired of it. And all the while, they're maiming and raping another country to test out shit. And then they rolled out a global experiment and people complied, throwing well, I've told you this before. I'm pretty sure, to whoever created the TorySaid.com site, fantastic. Because I'm pretty sure I've said this before. Money can buy anything you want except for health. Health is the most prized thing. Your health goes tits up, you're fucked. Right? Your health goes, you're fucked. And Steve Jobs, fucked. Chavez, fucked. Everybody, fucked. No health? I don't care how much money you have. Right? And people in the year of 2020, 2021, and even today are not only throwing away their health blindly to people. I trust my government. Hi, I'm from the government. I'm here to help. They're throwing the most precious thing away, which is their health. And not only that, their kids' health. Your health is the most important thing. And it's so bizarre how people minimize their worth. You feel worthless? Oh, I do. I have a shirt right now with some coffee on it, not looking too hot, sideways bun. And actually, I got a jelly mask in the mail and I wore it to make myself feel better. Yeah, don't feel really good, but I'll tell you what, I won't give up my health for any of that. That's the way it is. And I won't give away my sanity for whatever they want me to do. These people are demonic. They're insane. They play games. And the thing is, those in Congress and the Senate are on a need-to-know basis. They don't know shit. They just know what they're allowed. So sometimes when you see them talk like Kennedy, you want to say he's talking out of both sides of his mouth, but it's because he doesn't know. He literally doesn't know. But Schiff, on the other hand, is his little skiff right there. Remember when I said there was no whistleblower? Yeah, that's because it was on the fucking system, and flies are accessible with the cranking. See, a lot of people think we don't have quantum technology. Yeah, we don't have quantum technology, but they're building quantum antivirus. Okay, let's build an antivirus for something that doesn't exist yet. This is how dumb people are. Oh, we're just building quantum antivirus for when we get quantum computing. Well, how do you know that's going to work on your quantum? Yeah, so right? Smile. And people eat it up because people tell them things and they accept it. They don't question it. This is why people are like, you're so cryptic. It's like, I'm not going to tell you. How can I deprogram you if I'm just giving you more shit? It's better that you're being posed questions. You're being shown naked truth. And this is how people start asking questions. But unfortunately, this is a double-edged sword. The double-edged sword is that you fall into these insane rabbit holes where you're waiting for some guy to come on a white horse with like special forces behind him. Get the fuck out of here. Come on. Like the more I see it, the more I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to be fine. I should just let it go. So today I thought we could look at some of these conspiracies. Like, the blood drinking. Oh, these people are so stupid. They talk about blood drinking. I'll tell you what. When I was doing my research, and I've said this before, and you all can see advertisements in different states. Well, we'll get to it after the break. Unfortunately, YouTube, hop onto Rumble because I'm going to have to disconnect because I'm going to get dinged if I use, whatever. And I want to maintain my channel. So I'm going to just tell you this before I go, YouTube. July is going to be the ultimate month of recompense. You put shit out, you get shit back. You put good out, you get good back. But it's going to be extremely painful. See, the one thing, I saw someone in my chat say this because I do read as many messages as I can. I kid you not. I have like 12,000 private messages. Like, how do I go through it? And then I have mail, which I absolutely love, by the way. I get cookies and masks, and I got these awesome pajamas from someone. They were so cool. And I was like, yay, they need to get XXL. Thank you. And, but it's going to be so difficult for a lot of you right now. because you won't know what is up, what is down, what is left, what is right. So it's very important to keep your still. Trust your gut. Your gut tells you everything. Your gut tells you everything you need to know. Sometimes you're like, oh, I don't like this person's vibe. Good. Stick with it. I don't like your voice. Good. Demons don't like voices either. But I'll tell you what, something that like I said, something that I saw on my channel that someone posted is like that when they sit and pray, they have all these weird thoughts. I've had that too. I've been sometimes where I'm like in a prayer, where it first happened actually? I think I was in Kuwait. So I was really scared because there was something and they needed to put us somewhere, some chemical, something leak. So all these contractors were getting into this thing and I wanted to pray and all I could think about was toilets and poop and evil things and bad things happening. And I was still trying to focus on the prayer. Just for me to kind of just get centered and go, and someone actually put in there, hey, I've noticed that, every time I'm praying, this, I keep having evil and horrible thoughts. And it's like, look, when you're doing good or when good is manifesting, evil screams. All you have to look is at all these people that are screaming to have the right to abort babies. And again, I say it. I am not the one that's going to sit here and tell you, you're not allowed to commit murder because you can commit murder, even if it's law or not. You don't give a shit, right? When you're going to kill someone, you don't give a shit. And, there are parents, I've actually thought about that too. No joke, right? There are parents that, what if you're pregnant and you go to your 20-week screening and they tell you your baby has no head? Or they tell you all your baby's organs are on the outside and it's never going to go in and they're going to look all fucked up, or that they have like 20 limbs, or they're conjoined with like another freaking 20 twins, right? Or something, right? You might not be strong enough to be able to give birth to a child like that. You mentally may not be able to handle it. And you would be able to go through something like abortion because you would see it in a way of, giving it a more peaceful death, right? Another one is you get raped. There are people that get raped and get pregnant, right? In the past, not now. We have that plan B that makes your uterus a hostile environment so you don't get pregnant. So these are all questions that are personal to you. No doctor is going to force you to give birth to, something that has like 20 limbs and just teeth everywhere. Because I've actually seen that in med school. There was something that was, a woman gave birth to something. It was a teratoma. It was dead, but she went full term and she was fucked up after that. Like she couldn't even, she just imagine giving birth to, monsters. And, so, people have that personal choice. If they're in a predicament where it causes them harm to their health, they can make that decision, right? It caused me harm to my health and, me as a person coming out and saying, yeah, I did this. I did that. I did this, and I must deal with the consequences. So everybody has consequences in any decision we make. So this ruling wasn't even a ruling, okay? This was just pointing out that having an abortion is not a constitutional right. No shit, Sherlock. But we knew that. Right? We knew that. We also know that we have freedom of religion, hence why it was held up that the coach shouldn't have been fired for praying in the middle. Would they have fired a Muslim if he pulled out his rug and started doing his prayer because it was call time? Fuck no. So there you go. So on that note, I've just posted the link in the chat for those on YouTube and Facebook. Welcome over to Rumble. I'm going to disconnect just YouTube, Facebook. They hide my channel anyway, so I can't get people to come on there. So